Liam, let me ask you something. Can I share a little secret that's been seriously bothering me lately?
Hey, Emma, of course. What's been on your mind?
So, here's the thing. I can understand movies, podcasts, and even fast conversations with no problem. But the second I start speaking, I feel like I get stuck using the exact same basic words over and over again.
That is so common, Emma. Honestly, when I was mastering English, I used to be completely addicted to one particular shortcut word.
Oh, now you've made me curious. Come on, don't leave me hanging. Which word are we talking about?
The word is very.
Ouch. Okay, I see where this is going. I use very all the time. Is that really such a bad thing?
Not at all. But when every single strong feeling you have becomes very good, very bad, very happy, or very tired, your English starts sounding a bit robotic and repetitive.
Ah, I get it. So the problem isn't the word itself.
The problem is that learners use very as an easy shortcut, instead of dropping the precise words native speakers naturally use to paint a picture.
Well, color me guilty, because I think you just described about half of my everyday vocabulary.
Don't worry, you are in excellent company today. And the good news is, we are breaking that habit right now.
I am so ready. Show me the magic.
Let's look at a real-life example. Imagine you just walked out of the absolute best movie you've seen all year.
Okay, I'm visualizing it. Huge popcorn, mind-blowing ending.
Perfect. Now most learners would instantly default to, the movie was very good.
Honestly, that is exactly what would come out of my mouth.
And look, it's grammatically perfect. But a native speaker wants that extra punch, so they'll ditch the shortcut, choose a stronger word, and simply say, the movie was amazing.
Oh, wow. I totally catch the vibe. It just sounds so much more alive. So the difference between sounding like a natural and sounding totally repetitive can sometimes come down to just a single word?
Oh, absolutely. More often than most learners ever realize.
I think I see the magic here. Very good just passes on flat information, but amazing actually communicates real emotion.
That is a fantastic observation, Emma. You hit the nail right on the head.
Okay, so I'm on a roll now. If very good upgrades to amazing, what happens when we hit the dark side? What do we do with very bad?
Oh, that is another perfect example. Imagine you go out to a new restaurant and have one of the absolute worst meals of your entire life. When a friend asks you about it later, you could say the food was very bad.
Which, let's be honest, sounds exactly like something I would say.
Right, but a native speaker wants you to feel their pain, so they'd be way more likely to drop a word like, the food was terrible.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that definitely packs a much bigger punch.
And it's way more memorable.
You know, what's crazy is that I can actually picture the bad experience in my mind when I hear the word terrible.
Because stronger adjectives create stronger mental images. It's all about helping the other person actually feel and experience what you're describing, instead of just hearing a list of words.
Wow, that is a completely different way of looking at language learning.
And once learners get that light bulb moment, their English instantly becomes so much more engaging. At the end of the day, the goal is just learning the words that native speakers naturally choose in real-life situations.
And honestly, that feels a million times more useful than memorizing random, stuffy, advanced vocabulary from a textbook.
Because it absolutely is.
But let me ask you something else, Liam. Why is it that these stronger words actually seem easier to remember than the basic ones?
Because they aren't flat definitions on a page, Emma. They are directly connected to raw emotions, real-world situations, and shared experiences.
Wow, that is actually such an important lesson for anyone trying to sound fluent.
Oh, it definitely is. And it becomes even more critical when we look at one of the most overused phrases in the entire history of learning English.
Oh no, don't tell me. Which phrase are we talking about now?
Very tired. I swear most people drop that one several times a week, especially on Monday mornings.
Okay, you got me. That is literally my Monday mood. So what would a native speaker say instead to shake things up?
They would almost always upgrade it and say, I'm exhausted.
Ooh, I love that. That instantly sounds so much more natural and expressive.
Right? And it is hands down one of the most common replacements you will ever hear in everyday English.
You know, what's funny is that I've heard that word hundreds of times in movies, but I realize I've never actually used it myself when speaking.
And that is exactly why so many learners sound less natural than they actually are. They have the passive vocabulary hidden in their heads, but they don't bring it out into the world.
All right, let me take it for a spin.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
I've been working since early this morning, and I'm exhausted. How was that?
Perfect. That sounds exactly like something a native speaker would say coming home from a long day.
Honestly, it actually feels more natural to say, I'm very tired.
That's because you're officially moving away from textbook rules and stepping into real, living spoken English.
Oh, now I am super curious. What do native speakers actually say instead of everyday things like very happy and very hungry?
Perfect. Because those specific replacements are some of the absolute easiest ways to sound dramatically more natural in everyday conversations. For starters, native speakers rarely say, I'm very happy. Instead, they'll almost always drop, I'm thrilled.
Oh, I love that. That definitely sounds way more emotional and alive.
Because it is.
Yeah, it feels like there's a whole wave of excitement behind it.
Exactly. And that's the exact energy people want to get across when they use it. Are there any other cool options to mix things up?
Absolutely. If you want a slightly different vibe, you could also say, I'm delighted.
Ooh, that one sounds a little more elegant and polished.
It does, and you'll hear it pop up quite often in both personal chats and professional situations.
Ah, I get it. So the next time I get some awesome news, instead of default clicking on I'm very happy, I can choose I'm thrilled or I'm delighted.
Exactly. See how easy it is?
Wow. I can already picture myself using those in my next conversation.
And that is so important, Emma, because actually imagining yourself using a phrase in a real scenario is the secret trick that locks it into your brain.
That makes so much sense. It actually reminds me of my biggest daily struggle. Whenever I'm ready to eat an entire house, I always say, I'm very hungry. How do I fix that one?
Which is perfectly understandable, but again, it's not what pops out naturally. A native speaker who is dying for some food will almost always say, I'm starving.
Oh my gosh, yes. I hear that in movies literally all the time. What's so funny and frustrating is that I understand it perfectly every single time I hear it.
But you probably don't use it very often yourself, right? It's that classic trap. You recognize natural English effortlessly, but you don't produce it yet. Ah, exactly. It's like my brain goes into safe mode when I open my mouth. What's another area where we completely overuse very?
Well, think about the weather.
Oh, I think I know exactly where this is going. Very cold?
Bingo. You'll hear learners say that quite a lot, especially in the dead of winter. But instead of the basic version, native speakers will wrap their arms around themselves and gasp, I'm freezing!
That sounds so much more natural and honestly much more vivid.
That is exactly why it works so well. I'm freezing paints a much stronger picture in someone's mind than a flat, I'm very cold.
You know, I think that is the biggest takeaway we've seen throughout this whole lesson.
What's that?
The more visual and descriptive the language is, the more natural it sounds to the human ear.
That is a fantastic observation, Emma. You're completely right. Real English is visual.
Wait, I almost forgot the other side of the coin. What about when the weather flips? What do we say for hot weather?
Oh, when the heat is brutal, native speakers will often say, it's boiling. People use it constantly during the summer months.
Oh, nice. So instead of saying it's very hot outside, I could just casually drop it's boiling outside.
Exactly. Sometimes using a word like boiling for the weather can sound a little weird or too dramatic to English learners at first, but trust me, it is perfectly natural to a native speaker.
That is actually so much easier than I thought it would be.
Right? The best improvements in your fluency are often the simplest ones. You don't need complex grammar structures, you just need better word choices.
But wait, Liam, how do native speakers actually learn all these colorful expressions in the first place? They don't sit around studying vocabulary lists.
Exactly. They don't. Mostly it just happens naturally through repeated exposure from the time they are kids.
Okay, but how can I do that too without living in an English-speaking country?
By actively paying attention to the real language people use when you're consuming content. When you watch movies, listen to podcasts, or stream TV shows, don't just focus on the plot. Listen to how they express their feelings.
Ah, I see. And when I do hear a useful phrase, I should learn the whole phrase, right?
Perfect. Yes. Do not just memorize the individual, isolated word. For example, when you hear the word freezing, don't just write down freezing equals cold. Learn the whole chunk, I'm freezing.
That actually feels much easier because I don't have to think about how to build the sentence later. Can you give me another example? What about very scared, for instance?
Oh, that's a great one. Instead of saying very scared, native speakers will almost always say, I'm terrified.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds so much stronger and more impactful. So the ultimate goal here isn't completely eliminating the word very from our vocabulary.
Not at all. It's a perfectly fine word when used occasionally.
Right. The real goal is just avoiding it when a much better, more descriptive option exists.
That is the perfect way to think about it, Emma. It's about upgrading your choices, not restricting them.
I have a feeling a lot of our viewers are going to start noticing the word very absolutely everywhere after watching this video.
And that is actually the brilliant part. Becoming aware of it is the exact first step toward changing the habit.
Before we wrap up today, Liam, can you leave our viewers with a simple, actionable challenge?
Absolutely. Here it is. For the next 24 hours, pay close attention every single time you find yourself about to say the word very.
Ooh, I like that already. It's like a game.
Exactly. Then just pause for a second and ask yourself, is there a stronger, more colorful word I could use instead?
That sounds easy enough for anyone to try.
It is, but you'd be absolutely surprised how quickly that tiny pause starts completely changing the way you speak English.
I think that's a challenge almost everyone watching can try today.
And that is exactly why it's so powerful. Simple steps, massive results.
Exactly. Look, if you're tired of sounding like a walking textbook and you're ready to actually speak like a real human being, you cannot skip the next step.
Stop wasting time with old-school grammar drills. Click right here on your screen right now. We're going deep into the brutal truth about what it actually takes to sound natural. What's the best way to sound native in English? Click it now and let's get to work.
See you there. Bye.
Bye.